Scorpio, welcome to your October 2018 love reading. It's Rena here, just shuffling cards, doing new piles. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Okay. I have two cards here that connect to the sign of Taurus. So if that means anything, that's your opposite sign. This one is one of them. The Empress card connects to Taurus and Libra through the planet Venus that rules both of those signs. And the Empress card is about the divine feminine, I think. I mean, it is about the feminine principle, the Earth Mother archetype, and sometimes it can be about pregnancy. This is that sense of the sensual, but love itself could be represented here. And it can be like, even if you're single, that you want to become a mother, that you want to, you're like, if you're a woman, I'm not talking about men wanting to become a mother, but a woman, if you're a woman who wants to become a mother, and so you're looking for a partner based on that desire. Is that good or not? I don't know, because I can understand you might say, I have to find a partner in order to fulfill this, but I would think that you would also want a love relationship that is a very healthy one with a partner as well. And we have here at the base of the reading the Knight of Pentacles. This can be associated with Taurus. This is associated with Taurus, actually. And this is a type of man who is very diligent in matters connected to the Pentacles, the earthly concerns of making money and maintaining a job. Very practical person, very dependable person. The kind of person who, if you were wanting to start a family, would be somebody that you could count on. Okay? It's not the Knight of Wands type of a guy. So that type of person would lack commitment. They might not want to support you because they might not be able to stick with one job. They might be so afraid of committing to anything. And the Knight of Pentacles just likes that routine and wants to just... But they might be too into routines. So this person, while dependable, may be boring to certain types of people who are not into that type of personality trait and may not appreciate it that much. Does the average Scorpio person appreciate it? Well, you're both fixed signs, so you do admire that constancy. And on that level, that person may be exactly what you need. But, you know, depending on other factors, you may also, like other signs, find this person a little bit too predictable, maybe a little bit boring, not stimulating enough. And that could be part of the problem, is that you're looking for something that... You're looking for someone with a little bit more pizzazz, but then they may not be that practical, or they may not be that dependable. What crosses you is represented by the Hangman. So you're you may be at a point, Scorpio, if you're like looking for a mate, where you're getting very fed up. I mean, you're getting like impatient. Maybe you're in your mid-30s and you're thinking about your biological clock. Maybe you are somebody who has been dating someone. Maybe this is the person you're dating, this Knight of Pentacles, and they haven't committed to you, which is hard to believe. When I say committed to you, they may have not asked for your hand in marriage, or maybe whatever it is that you're looking for. I would think it's something like that. I think that this is kind of a traditional type, that the Empress is looking for that person to make a family with. So it would be something more formalized. And you may be like, how long do I have to wait for this? Maybe this person is so, I was going to say obsessed, I'll just say obsessed for lack of a better word, with building up their financial resources, that they are, you know, putting you off about marriage because they say, oh, I can't afford it. And they could, but they have this number in their head that they want to have saved before they go into that. Maybe they want to buy a house. Maybe they say to you, look, we're going to have a life together, but I don't want to rent an apartment. I want to have a house. So I want to have enough for a 20% down payment. And however long it takes, that's what I'm going to do. And this is the kind of person who can be very patient when they have their goals. And you may be the one that's a little bit less patient. You might be kind of like, how long do I have to wait? Now, there is a possibility that you're dealing with a person who is involved with somebody else, and you're waiting for them to leave their current partner. So maybe it's a Taurus person who's married, and they have been promising you that they are going to get divorced, and you have said, I'm not going to get with you until I see that you are really away from that relationship. And you're tired of waiting. You feel like you're wasting your life waiting for this person. And this could even be like a coworker, because this is a real work kind of a guy. So maybe this person doesn't have a lot of free time, and that's how you met this person. I don't know. But look at the higher message here. This is a spiritual message, the Sun card. Now, I have been talking about how Venus is going to retrograde in October. And Venus is retrograding in your sign, Scorpio. So that is very interesting. Okay, so that's the first house. It's going to go back into Libra at some point, and that's your 12th house. That's a karmic house. So what can this mean? Well, with the Sun card, this is talking about true love. And I mean, you know, one of the reasons that I do a lot of tarot readings for YouTube compared to how much I do in my private readings, which is mostly like astrological readings, is because of the open-ended quality about the tarot. And one thing about it, when thinking about the Sun card as the spiritual message, is that love is everything. And that's kind of been a theme I've been noticing with a couple of these readings, is that when you're in the horns of, is it the horns of a dilemma? You have to look at whether love is really in the picture here. If you are involved with somebody who is promising that they're going to leave their partner and they're leaving you in limbo and they're making you just hang there waiting indefinitely, empty promise after empty promise, or even like if you're dating somebody and you want to get married or you want to move in together and they say, I'll do it as soon as I have X amount of money saved so that we can have a house. At a certain point, doesn't love take over? At a certain point, if somebody cannot imagine their life without you, doesn't that light a fire under them and make them want to do whatever it is that they're supposed to do anyway? So not wait for the perfect time, but like leave that relationship, not have to have a certain amount of money to be with you, saved up in the bank, willing to live in a studio apartment just because they want to be with you. So the sun is such an all-pervasive, warming, life-enhancing or life-giving part of our lives. And it represents so many positive things. The Sun card represents love. And in this particular card, they're showing these two people. It also represents children. It represents, and that could be conceiving children or children in general. It represents, and I told you, you know, with the Empress card again, that's another energy of like wanting to have children, wanting to start a family. And I guess as a spiritual message, it's saying, does this person have the character to do this? Does this person have the will to do that? Are they dragging their feet? Do you think that you're with the right person? The Sun card is about healing. It's about prosperity. It's arguably the most positive card in the deck. So the point is making sure that you have chosen the right person. Anytime somebody drags their feet, when you want to do something and the other person's like kind of like, oh yeah, sure, but you can tell that they're not really doing it, or you know, you don't feel like they're doing what they say they're going to do, that gives you that kind of a red flag that the person may not be as enthusiastic as they claim to be. And if that's the case, you have to decide whether you want to force somebody to want what you want, or whether or not it's time to move on. Because if you try to impose your will on someone, let's say you want a child, and maybe another person wants to be with you, but they're not so sure they want to have a family. They are not sure they want to have children, and that's perfectly acceptable. But some people, they want to have the other person, and they're afraid they're going to lose that person, so they might kind of make excuses why they can't commit to the relationship, you know, because they don't want to cut things off totally. But by the same token, they're afraid because they don't want to have children, or they don't want what you want. And you have to decide at some point if you're going to just wait indefinitely. How long are you going to hang in there? I was going to say pardon the pun, but it really is what that card represents. The practical advice is the Queen of Swords. This is very important for Scorpios because the Queen represents that intuitive and the emotional side of life, and the Swords is the intellect, that part of us that is just the mind working without being clouded over by the emotions or being influenced by the emotions. It might be saying to you, you have to make a decision based on logic, not on your desires. So if a part of you is longing to be with someone And yet you have very clear objectives. You want to have children, you want to get married, and you're not sure if the other person is on board with you. You have to accept that reality. Even though your emotions are leading you in a different direction and making you want to have it with that particular person. It might not be what, you know, it is what it is, right? Either somebody's on board or they're not. And you can't make somebody on board with something that they're not on board with. What is coming in is represented by the Four of Cups, and I think that you see that there's an offer and that there's a stone face to the offer. That could be the other person with the stone face. This could be just kind of reiterating that you're offering something to them. But, you know, the clouds is the one giving the offer. So it might be just showing you that you have this, you know, it's kind of like showing you your dissatisfaction with your life at the moment. Going back to the Sun card and talking about that Venus retrograde, I feel like the fact that the Sun card is a spiritual message is really indicating that perhaps what is waiting for you is that soulmate. And because we have the retrograde ending up in the 12th house, it could be like that you're reassessing your current relationship, but maybe you do end up connecting with that, either a past partner or the partner who you're meant to be with in this lifetime. And during this Venus retrograde, you are having your new moon and your solar return. So it's like your new beginnings, your new solar cycle at the time of Venus retrograde could be like a whole new chapter in your life, Scorpio. I'm so sorry for the trains. I mean, when I started doing this, it wasn't there. Now it feels like, you know. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm also sensing, is that you might be involved in an unhappy romantic situation. But this is like waiting in the wings for you, perhaps. And the outcome is a card of choice. Two of Pentacles. Again, this may be, one of the people may be an earth sign, like a Taurus. The other earth signs are Virgo and Capricorn. I always associate this card with Capricorn, so who knows? Maybe some of you are involved with Capricorn. But as I say, the other person, I don't know what sign they are, but maybe they are the one, that person, if somebody comes into your life in October or even into mid-November, and I would say especially later on in this retrograde period of maybe late October to mid-November, when Venus is in that 12th house, that could be somebody who gets in touch with you, who's from your past, an old flame, and that person could be your soulmate, you know, or you meet somebody and they feel like you've known them forever, and maybe you have known them forever, and that is a person that you feel compelled to be with, but you're still connected to this person, so you have to make that choice. Are you going to end things with that person or not? And remember, too, the interesting thing is you could attempt to end something with a current person who is involved with somebody else, and then all of a sudden they are offering you their love because they know that it's threatened. All of a sudden they're making plans. Oh yes, I am going to get divorced. And now you don't care. You see, that's the other thing that happens, is that once you meet somebody else that you feel much more compatible with, then the other person decides that they're going to actually do what they promised they're going to do. And that's where the dilemma comes in. But I have a feeling that you're done with that person. You've been kind of led on too long for you to care anymore, perhaps. But that's very exciting. So some of you may be reconnecting with a love, or maybe reconnecting with a past life relationship, and it seems new in this lifetime. Okay, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. So I hope that you enjoy this. If you'd like a private reading, the link to my website is below. I wish you all the best in October. Happy birthday, by the way, too. Take care. Bye.